What is something perfectly legal that feels illegal? Driving when near a cop. Existing when near a cop. I'm a decent dude. I speed a little and maybe swear too much, but I haven't done anything terribly illegal in a long time, and I always feel like I'm about to die when near a police officer. Walking underneath the nothing to declare sign at customs even though you literally don't have anything to declare. Walking through a metal detector always puts me on edge. Feel like out of nowhere I'm suddenly concealing a weapon. Shit, I did put my knife in the checked baggage, right? Taking a shit ton of samples and then buying nothing. Our weekend Costco lunch. Taking something into a store like Lowe's or Home Depot to make sure you can find the correct adapter or connection, then walking out with it and not paying for anything after not finding the correct connector. When you enter a store with your own stuff you need to wave it around at the camera so if they try to bust you you just say check the footage, I'm innocent. And then they say that's great. This is Papa John's. We didn't expect you to be stealing a wrench from us, but those aren't your pizzas. Ugh, I know this feeling. Then they start yelling at you all like why aren't you wearing any clothes? It's so awkward. Turning left at a red light from a one-way street to another one-way street. Edit. For those asking or confused, I live in Ontario, Canada. I got pulled over for this once. The cop was polite enough to let me Google it on my phone. I showed him the results, he shrugged and said you learn something new every day. Then walked back to his car. Strangest exchange I've ever had with a cop. I don't write the laws. I just enforce what I think are laws. First drive after getting a driver's license. This 100%. I remember driving to the store to get milk and eggs by myself for the first time after getting my full license was such a weird feeling. Now it feels weird having someone else in the truck lol. It's been years since I was in mandatory education, yet I still feel weird being out in town during the day on a school day. I've even been asked why I'm not in school before, and was like I'm 21 lol, it was very awkward. Leaving a store without having bought anything. Even worse, at places like Target where they have locked electronics that you pay for in the department section. So then when you go to check out with everything else you have a bag of things already paid for and a basket of things you're still going to buy. Waiting for someone on the street when there's a cop around. You mean doing basically anything when a cop is around. On Monday I was ordering a sandwich for lunch and there were two cops behind me waiting for their turn, but it still felt like I was doing something highly illegal. Hey, could I get? Don't say all the money in the till. Don't say all the money in the till. A BLT on this is a robbery, fuck. As a pet sitter for pets in my complex, even though people give me their key to get into their house, it still feels really weird entering someone's house, especially when I don't know them all that well. Owning a flamethrower is legal in 48 states. California and Maryland require licensing. Owning a grenade launcher is legal if you pay $200 to get a permit. Stealing a balloon on Free Balloon Day. We are not talking about some mail fraud scheme or hijacking here. We stole a balloon. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Driving at night with the dome light on in the car. Why did my mom convince me this was wrong? You have been visited by Money Pigeon. Like the video and subscribe within 5.6 seconds and you will get rich. Now back to scheduled programming. After getting out of the army, US, calling everyone at work by their first names, or using an umbrella, putting your hands in your pockets too. The first thing I started doing to reacclimate myself to civilian life was intentionally put my hands in my pockets. Unpaid internships. It's basically slavery if you don't get any connections from it. Those are usually illegal. They should make another thread for illegal things that are so common they seem illegal. Buying alcohol for the first few months after turning 21. Using the vertical ID doesn't help. Where I live, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 21. If you have the vertical ID, you can't buy cigs or booze. When you get a craving for cake in the middle of the night and try to open that damned plastic container and suddenly the whole damn neighborhood is awake and knows your shame. This is me making instant noodle in the middle of the night. At the end, me and family eating instant noodles together, but I have to cook for them. It's really annoying. Microwaves don't have a stealth mode where you can turn them on with no beeping. Taking money from a take a penny leave a penny tray. It's there for a purpose, but it would feel like I'm taking money that belongs to someone else if I did so. Working in advertising. I find how much info I can collect on a specific individual is super creepy. As a general note, just don't sign up for newsletters. The stuff you unknowingly give companies on yourself is scary. Feels so creepy. Just your email and full name is enough for people to know your whole life if they put that stuff into FB or other networks. Ordering weed of a government website and smoking it in Canada. It's illegal to buy from a guy on the corner but okay from the government. And growing weed in your backyard. Absolutely nuts. Taking your first newborn home from the hospital with no prior training or experience. This was so weird. Like, they're just gonna let us walk out to here with an infant. In a surprising amount of US states, you can have relations with someone aged 16. I always thought it was 18. I believe there's also what's called a Romeo and Juliet clause where in high school a guy or girl over the legal age can date someone under it if they're within 3 years of age, or also something to do with pre-existing relationships before one of them gets older than the legal age. At least in Texas there is. Riding the elevator facing backwards. Elevators with front and back doors. The door behind you opens and someone gets on. Do we both turn around or what the fuck do we do? Rotate 90 degrees so that an opening surface is behind you. Eating popcorn with sushi at 4 AM. Are you okay? No. When the hospital billed me for my 38-hour stay to the tune of $97,000. Showering in your socks. No, that's definitely illegal. This is what capital punishment is for. Paying lots of money to get a politician to do what you want them to do. Bribes are illegal. Donations aren't. Selling subprime mortgages to people who absolutely cannot afford them, and back-end bundling them as investment funds to resell to investors, betting they will fail and taking out insurance against that failure with the purpose of getting rich off the insurance while all the investors in those funds go broke. The housing economy bursts and the entire global economy suffers. It happened. We bailed out the banks. America lost its shirt and not one move has been made to make this fully unethical practice illegal. Walking on the middle of an asphalt road with no cars around makes me feel like a teenage movie rebel. Leaving your house in sweatpants with no intention of working out. Speak for yourself, Duke Fancy Pants. Turning on the lights in the car while driving at night. The biggest adulthood plot twist was discovering an entire generation had been convinced it was illegal. Driving in front of an ambulance. Edit. I meant one without the lights on. Cereal with water. Get out. Walking naked from the bathroom to the kitchen to the bedroom in the AM. Every time I check marker box saying under penalty of perjury, I certify everything above is true. Standing at the little cheese sample table at the grocery store, eating countless samples, making eye contact with, but not actually speaking to the cheese lady. My record was 6 minutes and it's harder than you think. Shower beers. Putting a blockade over Naboo. Is that illegal? I will make it illegal. The library. The fact that you can just hang out there for hours, use the computers and then leave with a huge stack of books and movies without paying a cent is very surreal for 2019. In Oregon, I can take a left turn from a two-way street onto a one-way street against a red light. Walking in front of a cop car on a crosswalk. Swearing in front of an officer. Crossing the Canadian/American border, they grill you so damn hard you start to wonder if you're guilty of something. Jacking up the price of drugs because you have a captive market and want money. Yeah, just watched a documentary on Big Pharma. As a Canadian walking around a European city and casually buying my beer at a grocery store, cheaper than Coke, and getting to enjoy it in a public park. Driving in bare feet. I'm pretty sure this is illegal where I live. Canada. It is. You can also get tickets for wearing improper footwear such as slippers, heels, and cowboy boots. Apparently I'm a massive criminal. Walking out of a store and not buying anything. I'm not stealing anything. This is specific to me, but one time at a school dance, I had Benadryl in my pocket in case I had an allergic reaction. The staff was checking bags for drugs and one of the things you had to do was turn your pockets inside out. I got really anxious and awkwardly palmed the single pill that I had while pulling it out even though it was literally just allergy medication. The cops can lie to you. Doing my own taxes. I feel like I'm about to go to jail for tax fraud. Deciding to leave a restaurant after you just sat down. I feel this so much. I feel like the owners will grab me and gently push me back in my seat and say stay. Masturbating for the first time. Next time I wanna try with my hand. Hold up. I own and regularly fire a cannon. Any close calls. Came close to running out of black powder once, but I bought more. Woo. Littering on parade routes during Mardi Gras. There is a giant sweep up, a team of like 200 people that come after the parades to sweep beads and other throws. I have finished a beer, crumpled it, and thrown it on the ground in front of a cop. It's very satisfying. Going into a store to use the bathroom without buying something. You have been visited by Money Pigeon. Like the video and subscribe within 5.6 seconds and you will get rich.